It's a quiet day at Killean Acres, a horse breeding farm just a few minutes east of London. For Jack McNiven, the owner of the farm, quiet days are something he'll have to get used to. At 79, he has been breeding horses used in harness racing for nearly 60 years. But now he's being forced to close down, and it's a reality he was unprepared for.
And when we were doing well with our stallions, we unfortunately didn't invest in retirement funds. We reinvested in the industry.
But that investment has been lost. Jack knew he was in trouble when the provincial government chose to end funding race tracks received from slot machines. Races are running here at the Western Fair District in London, despite the industry losing $345 million a year from the loss of slots. Upon talking to drivers and trainers, it becomes clear that there is little optimism to be found.
Kills us. It kills us. We're virtually done.
One of the biggest losses is the amount of money available in winnings. The provincial government is offering just $10 million for purses at all 15 tracks in Ontario. That's less than what one track would usually receive from slot revenues. For those in the industry, it means trying to figure out what their futures will hold.
After 35 years, I really wouldn't know. I guess I'd have to sit down with a bottle of whiskey and think about it for a while.
If I wasn't racing horses, I don't know what I'd do. I have to go back to school, I guess. Figure something else out. Work at Tim Hortons or McDonald's. Something like that.
However, it may not be all bad news. Talks are currently underway between the Government of Ontario and industry officials to try and figure out a funding solution for the next few years. But with a deadline of March 31st fast approaching, many are beginning to lose hope. With less money comes less winnings, fewer races, and fewer horses walking this tunnel.
Whoa! Oh, whoa! Back up, back!
For Jack, the struggle isn't the financial uncertainty or losing the farm. It's knowing what will happen to the roughly 30 horses he calls family if nothing changes.
We would have the veterinarian come in and humanely put them to sleep. And most of our horses are buried on the farm that have passed away or that we've had to put down for whatever reason. But so it won't be easy.
Jack has even tried to pay people to take some of his horses, but the animals have no value, and so his farm will likely turn into a graveyard.
And we have these wonderful horses that are healthy, happy, and it's hard to go and put a bullet between their eyes.
Yeah, good. There
He has given his entire life to his animals. He can only hope they won't have to give him theirs. For Western News, I'm Justin Zadorsky. Jeff Bynen's love of music started here, singing with the Amabile boys and men's choirs. He has been singing with Amabile since he was a child. Now he leads his own choirs at Medway High School, a position once held by Ken Fleet, Jeff's mentor.
He's an outstanding musician, definitely one of the top in Canada, and has been recognized as one of the top Canadian conductors several times by several different awards.
Ken was once a conductor with Amabile, but after being diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he began to scale back. Now, he mostly sings alongside his former student. Music was Ken's life's work, and the chance to stay connected to the choir is a kindness he is quick to appreciate.
The guys are great in letting me, sing with them and everything. And, most people wouldn't even think of it.
Jeff could see Ken's memory declining, but he noticed he functioned better on days he was involved with music. When the Sisters of St. Joseph's approached him to form a choir for Alzheimer's patients, he couldn't refuse. Jeff knew how therapeutic music could be, so he brought Ken along to help conduct. The intergenerational Alzheimer's choir gives patients a chance to sing. Students from Jeff's classes at Medway sing with the patients. Meanwhile, Ken gets a chance to conduct, and Jeff gets to see his mentor doing what he loves.
Something magical that we really can't describe is taking place. Sort of the feeling in the room with that group is sort of likened to having, 3 cappuccino espressos.
The intergenerational Alzheimer's choir held its first performance last fall, but it's here at Medway High School where Jeff prepares his students for upcoming performances, including one in May. For Jeff, leading a choir of Alzheimer's patients isn't about great music. He hopes to give his students a rewarding experience, and he hopes to help an old friend through a tough time.
Ken says that music changes the chemistry in your body when you sing. I think I believe that.
According to the Canadian Alzheimer's Society, music has the potential to reverse some of the effects of Alzheimer's. Ken says he doesn't believe a cure is in his cards, and he has come to accept the disease. But he will continue to sing and conduct for as long as he can.
I would be dishonest if I didn't say that, there are lots of days when I feel like, why me and why not somebody else? But, but hey, you got to play the cards that you're dealt.
Western News, Justin Zadorsky.
A landmark structure to hundreds of thousands has gone up in smoke. The main livestock barn at Storybook Gardens caught fire this morning, forcing workers to herd the animals to safety. Nick Paparella has been there for much of the day and joins us with the latest. Nick.
Well, Tara, when we first got here, there's no fire right now. It's been out for hours. But as we drove here this morning, you could see thick black smoke billowing from the structure from kilometers away. They were leading the animals out of harm's way and to safety.
Well, as I approached the barn, I thought I smelled just a slight whiff of smoke.
The blaze was first discovered just after 8 in the morning. Animal caretaker Tom Hudecki has been making the same rounds for 15 years, but this day was different.
So I ran upstairs and opened the door up in the mow where we keep all the hay and the straw, which is the problem. And it was heavy smoke up there, so I immediately slammed the door, called my boss, told him to call 911 immediately, went in, killed the electrical power, because I knew that that's the only thing up there that could cause a fire, basically, and just started getting the animals out as quick as I could.
The good news, of course, is that no one was harmed in this blaze, and all 12 animals got out safely. A veterinarian is being called in to check in on their welfare. Bill Coxhead and Lynn Lubert are both with the city's Parks and Recreation Department.
The animals are safe. We're collecting them right now. They're corralled, as you can see, and we're going to be finding them a home throughout the course of the day.
Well, I think children will be very concerned about the animals, first of all, and to know that they're all safe is the best part of the day.
Fire crews had a hard time battling the blaze.
In any barns, fire load is always a huge concern. They are completely full of hay and straw and feed and all kinds of things, and dried timber, things that burn quite easily.
The original structure was built in 1958 and was known as Old MacDonald's Barn. It holds memories for hundreds of thousands who have made their way through the children's theme park.
Well, I brought my own kids here. We've played with the rabbits and we've fed the animals.
Once the smoke clears, any plans for rebuilding will commence.
We're going to stand back, see what the options are for us going forward and how we're going to proceed, but it's too early to tell today.
Pretty sad. That's 1958 that barn was built, and she's all gone. Had a lot of history there, for sure. A lot of animals lived in there over the years.
Now, some people are still showing up here to Storybook Gardens, but it's closed at least until Thursday. The fire investigation for the cause is still ongoing. Should be a couple of days before we have some kind of cause. But, Tara, this truly is a sad, sad day. I remember bringing my 3 sons here when they were much younger, and they would spend hours in that barn.
Absolutely. All of us have memories from there. Thanks so much, Nick.
It seems if you ask anyone who lives here, Strathroy is proud to be known and billed as a quaint, sleepy little town. But Wednesday night, that all changed. Scenes like this are hard to take for those who've called this place home for decades. You consider this a quiet place, eh?
Oh, very quiet. I've lived here all my life.
Never anything like this.
God, no. Hope it never happens again.
But that's downtown. The reaction near the scene of Wednesday's events is much more dramatic and close to the heart. Some, like this woman, lived close, very close, as in right across the street to the alleged terror suspect. She even spoke to Aaron Driver on occasion.
I see him, this guy, the one is killed a lot of times, because you outside, they cross from the streets. He looks a normal person.
Of course, things were far from normal by mid-Wednesday afternoon. The description of what nearby neighbors heard is similar.
It was around 4 o'clock and I heard this big loud bang and I was like, what's that? And then I had to go over to my friend's place and he's just a couple blocks down and he said he heard like gunshots.
In the aftermath of the evening's events, some residents awoke to learn a co-worker appeared to have been involved. Many tell us Aaron Driver worked here, something company officials were not commenting on. This woman's husband has seen him around.
He knew of him, but
not enough to comment either way.
No.
What his demeanor was like or anything like that.
No, not at all.
And if Strathroy residents didn't know him, they and many parts of the world do now. It's still a frightening reality a day later.
And there's a lot of kids around here. Their homes, they're, small town. You're scared to let your kids out now.
Okay, and we're going to join the live news conference out of Ottawa with